And ladies and gentlemen, I'm coming up to a rebuttal. I have one point of rebuttal. The first thing is government said that the virtual product can be bad thing and a harm because it's a way of capital company to capitalize the people happiness. Our side will say that there is not true because the player will feel happy because the of their choices in the very first place. Like, so they risker to spending to approach this kind of mechanism and to embrace their feel like problem, for example, or just get a satisfaction by buying things like by this kind of virtual product to exchangeable in the cosmetic, for example, or just by its brightness, for example, even if it exists. And it's fine because you are already feel like they actually already enough give you pleasure, so they do it, and it is can be justified in its very first place because you are valid enough and consent enough to do that. And our status quo here is enough that with this state of gaming community and gaming competition, there are already enough that community are already get its happiness and coping mechanism to relieve its stress, and the gaming platform by hanging out the within game friend or chit chat, for example, it is already good state that developer must be protect about, and about the competitive export is already well organized enough that there's always be a regulation in the beginning of the match, like there is a regulation must upholding a fair play. That is why the very beginning it is already enough. And for the game system, like virtual product, for example, like you see in PUBG, Diamond in ML, Valorant Pass is already enough, though it is a choice from the player to use its money to buy this virtual product, which is his choices is also valid choices from the player to use its money, because it is not based on the external factors such as obligatory must have this kind of thing, but it is based on every person willing, right? So, and it's also good because when you exchange this kind of thing, you are happy because of your own choices. And moving on to my problem, there is a statement of banning this kind of virtual product exists, and it is really a problem because it limiting the choices for its player, and it could be affecting the whole community. That if their choices are being limited, there are also be much public criticism or player criticism towards the developer itself, and it will lead to a dissatisfaction of players, and it's on its own developer. People will leave the game and the game will become a dead and less variative anymore, and there is no market of it, right? And it will lead to the company bankrupt because of this thing happen and impact for the players, and they don't feel the fun as a player anymore because the new regulation of banning the virtual products it's really exists. And moving on to our goal, upholding the status quo right now, that if been stated before, that we want to uphold the gaming community with the non-toxic player, well organized system, and giving a satisfaction for its player. And our mechanism here is let things happen naturally, and seeing the gaming system of online virtual as a in-game feature that we should protect and uphold in order to get balance and positive gaming community. And our stance here is clear. As a opposition side, we will not ban all competitive providers on online virtual products for sale to all players. And the first thing is, why is it immoral to do and justify to do when we ban when we will not ban all this esport provider online? The second is, why is it will bring more good than harm for its community having this way of in-game virtual products? And moving on to my argument, the thing about in-game spending is we're talking about the individual choices, right? When it comes to choices, so it comes to a consent, for example, like your choice is in when you consent and doing something and choosing something, so and you are in a full of consciousness, like, and being rational in the first place, like your choice is valid enough because you choose buying that, and you choose buying that, and you choose to click that button to have in-game products for it. It's justified enough because of that. For the sake of your happiness, for yourself, and even sometimes you are being controlled by the company, for example, or its developer, because it's profit oriented, like government state before. It's also fine because you are happy doing it. It's okay anyway, and that's why we have the market. That's why how the market work, right? Like the consumer gets its need and happiness, which means the player gets the needs of the developer provided and get its happiness, and the company get its money as a supporting from the consumer, that giving satisfaction for its people. So they have a support from the people. So the thing about the game is the company still need to establish and maintaining this kind of game, right? Like you need money to do this and this, and because of you need money to do this, it is a positive feedback from the community gaming towards the company because of that, and the people of the players. So it cannot be justified. So it in the limiting the choices for their own happiness, like your choice is valid, right? And that's how the market works. And then moving on to my next argument, every people have a right to spend their money. Like there is a certain things that people wants to buy skin, buy a weapon, or buy a cosmetic for just their own pride, and just to fulfill their maximum happiness of the people. Even though you already know that it cannot be used in tournament because of the regulation from the committee, for example, or by the education, that cannot use this kind of skin and privilege to use in the tournament. So it is okay anyway. And the thing is about when you already win again, you will feel bored, right? The algorithm of the game will give you lose, for example, when, and then you will feel not bored anymore, or give you a win streak, for example, to give a gift that make you not bored anymore, and then you becoming tends to buy it because it's free to fail, because this kind of competitive game is free to play. The income is just from a microtransaction to enhance their algorithm and in-game innovation, right? This kind of thing is need all this money to establish the market, and the market is rational anyway, and it's moral anyway, because in the end it's moral anyway, because users is already consent, right? There is a term of condition in the beginning of the game, right? When you accept it, you already consent and know that there is a microtransaction in the game. So the idea, and the next is the idea of win is skill. When you experiencing enough in this game, you will not buy more to win, right? Because in the end of the day, you are rational enough and know enough that skill is really being upholded in the competition way. So that's why in its first place, this is a moral to do anyway. That's all from me. Thank you.